Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala ashrafil mursalin. Now, the following uh, lecture or lesson is concerned Master 2 BME, Banking and Monetary Economy, is balance sheet. What is meant by balance sheet? A balance sheet, or commonly called net worth statement, is a snapshot of a financial situation that lists assets, liabilities, and net worth. The accounting equation states that net worth equals assets minus liabilities. A balance sheet is further divided into current assets, current liabilities, non-current assets, and non-current liabilities in order to analyze a firm or range financially. For example, remember that current assets are those that have a useful life of 1 year. Example, hay for cows. Current liabilities are those that are due within the current year. Example, portion of term loan due this year, for example. Remember that non-current assets are those that have a useful life of more than 1 year. Example, tractor. Non-current liabilities are those that are due beyond the current year. For example, portion of term loan due beyond this year. There are 3 kinds of analysis. So what are the 3 kinds of analysis to use on a balance sheet? Comparative analysis, which means comparison of figures from the same dates each year to determine if the business equity is growing or shrinking. Protected analysis, this consists of making balance sheets for the future for expected farm situations and analyzing them to see probable trends. As for ratio analysis, it is a tool to measure the financial condition of one farm business against another using financial ratios. What are the 3 areas of balance sheet financially analyzes? They are as follows: liquidity, solvency, and equity. Liquidity plus ratios to analyze. Liquidity means the ability of a business to generate enough cash to pay bills without disrupting business. Liquidity measures determine the ability to meet short-term debt and other obligations from available cash. Ratios that have determined liquidity are as follows: current ratio equals current assets or current liabilities, or over current asset over current liabilities. Therefore, a ratio of $3.85 divided by $1 means that there would be $3.85 worth of current assets for every $1 of current debt. This means that a business with this type of ratio would be liquid. Working capital equals current assets minus current liabilities. Therefore, a business that has $62,550 worth of current assets and $16,254 worth of current liabilities would have a working capital of $46,296. This is also a reflection of a business that is liquid. Debt structure equals current liabilities over total liabilities. The higher this percentage, the more current assets will have to be used to service debt. Solvency plus ratios to analyze. Solvency measures the ability of all assets, if sold at market value, to cover all debts. A business is solvent if there are more assets than liabilities. Ratios that help determine solvency are as follows: debt to assets ratio equals total liabilities over total assets. Lenders usually prefer to provide loans that are equal to or less than 50% of assets. Therefore, a ratio of 50 divided by 1 or 50 to 1 or less is preferred. Debt to equity ratio equals total liability over net worth owners equity. Lenders prefer a debt to equity ratio or less than 1. This shows the owner's contribution is more than the borrowed funds. Equity to assets ratio equals net worth over total assets. A ratio of 50 to 1 would mean that for every $1 of assets there is 0.50 in equity. What do we mean by equity? Equity measures the portion of the business that is actually owned. Evaluating the solvency ratio can help determine equity in a business. Now let's discover what the Tucker Farm business is all about. Compile a beginning and end of the year balance sheet, or it is a compilation of a beginning and end of the year balance sheet.